Hey guys, my name is Brittany Timberlake, and it is so great that you're here to join me for your yin practice. I'm practicing at the Amana Yoga Studio in Quispam, Sis. If you're ever in the area, please come join us. It's a lovely, lovely community of yogis. This practice is going to focus mainly on the lower body and the hips. You might like to have a blanket, 2 blocks, and if you have a bolster, that would be really lovely as well. So I thought we could get started in a seated position. You could be sitting cross-legged, you could be up on your shins, sitting on a block. So making your way to something that's comfortable, and just letting your hands rest comfortably on the thighs. Allowing the pelvis to feel rooted on the floor. Feeling the crown of the head reach up towards the sky as the spine becomes a little bit more erect. And the shoulders, they fall down and away from the ears. Releasing any grip that you have with the jaw. Letting the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. And you might notice that as the ease that you find in your jaw happens, maybe that ease continues up into your cheeks, and the eyelids, and that ease finds its way up between the eyebrows and the forehead. Maybe even your scalp and your ears, they start to relax. It's okay if the mind feels really busy. Just let the mind come to the breath. Feeling the breath moving in and out of the body with ease. And maybe over time you notice that you start to just drop in, letting go of the doing and just settling into the being. We'll open the eyes if they're closed. We'll begin in seated butterfly. We'll take the soles of the feet together. You could have your blanket folded underneath your hips, creating a little bit of elevation. I'd like to have the blocks underneath my knees today. That might be a nice option for you as well. And we'll allow the pelvis to tilt forward as we come forward, rounding through the spine, letting the chin come in towards the chest. Finding somewhere comfortable for the hands to rest. We'll take our time to release from here, letting the head come up last. And then we'll take our blocks just off to the side. If you're using those, you could bring those just near the front of the mat. The hands help the knees close, leaning back, and just letting the knees fall side to side. And we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to move into a low-flying dragon or gecko. So you might like to have some support for underneath the knees with a blanket. And you might even like to have your bolster close by. So one option with the bolster is, as we take a big step forward with the right foot, you might like to have the bolster as a little bit of a support for the left thigh. I'm going to show the gecko or the low-flying dragon option, but if you're more comfortable to stay more upright with your hands on your thighs, that's great. Or you could take your hands to the inside of the right leg, letting the right knee fall out to the side. And what I like about the bolster option is that, especially if you can go really deep or you have a lot of range, it just helps you honor your edge to start. And then maybe over time, you might like to take the bolster away. The targeted area of the left hip flexor, that target area, when we get into it, it could feel really intense. So see if you can just breathe into those areas. If you're down on your hands or forearms, just coming back up to the hands, walking the right foot in, shifting the weight of the hips back just a little bit so we can swing the right leg behind us. Moving the bolster out of the way. We're going to come down to rebound on our bellies, just coming to lay all the way down. And just resting on a cheek or on your forehead. We'll take our hands just to the outsides of our ribs to press our way back up. And we'll set up for this shape on the other side. And bringing our bolster over if you have one. As we come up onto the knees, taking a big step forward with the left foot. Taking your time to settle in. Finding your edge, maybe backing off a little. Staying more upright if that's what you need today. Or starting to bring the arms, hands, torso forward and down. You can let the left knee fall out to the side. Remembering that our yin practice, our yoga practice is going to change day to day. So just honoring wherever your body is at. Honoring wherever your state of mind is at. So gently we'll start to release from this side. And just as we did before, making little movements just so the left leg can come behind, coming forward to lay on our bellies. Letting the entire body relax, letting the floor hold you up. Slowly coming up through table. And then just coming to sit on our shins. So I would like to give you a couple of options for our next shape. If you have your bolster, we'll take that to the back of our mat. You might like to have your blocks a little bit close by. So the first option is full saddle. So that's where we come to sit on our shins, or depending on your bones, you might be someone where your bum comes in between the legs and the heels. And then we start to lean back. So we're targeting the quads, we're getting into the hip flexors. It's also a back bend, compressing the lower spine. And you might come all the way down onto your bolster. You might come all the way down onto the floor without the help of the bolster. If you're looking at this shape and thinking, oh my gosh, my kneecaps are going to explode across the room, then you could instead come back into more of a butterfly shape where the soles of the feet come together, the knees fall out, the blocks help the knees, and then you can come to lay down on the bolster or just onto the floor. So you could try on either one in your body. You can choose. I'm going to move into the full saddle with the help of my bolster because I do like having the extra little bit of opening through my chest and my shoulders. So wherever you are, see if you can find a little bit more softness. And over your next few breaths, we'll take our time to come up. And just move any props off to the side. We're going to come to lay down on our backs. And we're going to come into Shavasana, but if there's any movements that you'd like to make, like any twists or anything at all, please do. I'm going to place my bolster underneath my knees, giving my psoas muscles a little extra break, put them on slack. Take one hand onto our belly, one hand onto our heart. Feeling our hands rise and fall with each breath. Start to move our fingers and our toes. Roll out the wrists and the ankles. We'll bend the knees and draw the knees in towards the chest, wrapping our arms around, and giving yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. You might even bring your chest in towards your knees. And just rolling over one side. And coming up. We'll bring our hands together at our heart. Namaste.